Panther Nation, Draft Family, what's cracking? I'm back with another top 10, and today we're going to look at top 10 running backs. But wait, before we get into it, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We need to get these 4,000 subscribers before the draft, so let's make this happen, all right? Now, let's get into it, man. The running backs. Listen, I think this running backs class is pretty deep, and I think that, you know, in today's NFL, there's not a lot of investment into the running back position outside of the Panthers, obviously paying Christian McCaffrey. You don't build teams around running backs, and for that, you know, you're not seeing teams take running backs in the first round. I know we saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire go in the first round to the Chiefs last year, but you don't see a lot of teams investing high draft picks into the running back position just because simply you don't build around running backs. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was more like a cherry on top for the Chiefs, and that's pretty much why that happened. But you don't see a lot of investment. You can pick up a running back in undrafted free agency. You can pick up a running back in the 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, and they can have amazing seasons. We've seen it in the past couple of years. So, I mean, it's the pick of the litter. There's a lot of running backs. It's all depending on your system and how often you're given the opportunity. So, that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, coming in at number 10, we got Collin Hill. All right, Collin Hill is a 5'11", 210-pound running back out of Mississippi State. This kid, he had an amazing 2019 season. Probably should have came out and declared for the draft after that season, but decided to come back. Pretty questionable. But after 2019, he had 1,000. In 2019 season, he had 1,350 yards rushing. He added 10 touchdowns. And again, he probably should have came out after that season, but decided to come back. And then in this season, man, it was a little weird. You know, he actually had more carries, or excuse me, he had more catches than carries this season. You know, guys are coming back to try to kind of show off that catching ability, and they think that, you know, they have to come back to the NFL, or excuse me, back to school to do that. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, you can do that in the combine. You can kind of show off those skills in other places. But you got guys coming back to kind of show that off. You know what I'm saying? So in this season, he actually had 58 yards rushing, only 58 yards rushing on 15 carries, but added 237 receiving yards and a touchdown on 23 receptions. It's really weird season. But again, I don't know. I question him coming back, but that ain't none of my business. These dudes make their own decisions. Really interesting stat for him in 2019. He did lead the nation in forced broken tackles with 61. So that's impressive. Actually forced more broken tackles than Najee Harris, which is very interesting. Okay, so as far as strengths go, you know, and he can pass protect very well. That's a trait that, you know, most running backs coming out of college struggle with, and that's why they don't see the field very early, because they struggle with picking up you know, blitzers and stuff and recognizing where the blitzers are coming from. They have a hard time picking that up and coming into the NFL. And so that's why a lot of guys sit. But he has that ability in college, so he's very good at it. Very good at it. He has very good receiving ability. Obviously, we spoke about that earlier with the more receptions than rushes this year. And very good ball security. You're not going to see him turn the ball over too much. So that's impressive. As far as weaknesses go, he's not going to be the fastest guy. And sometimes his decision-making is a little questionable. Sometimes he seeks contact instead of hitting the open holes. Just really weird. Sometimes you know, running backs do that. They want to hand out some smoke, and so, you know, it is what it is. As far as player comparison, I got him compared to James White. I think that's a very good comparison for him. Just an overall weapon out of the backfield. You know what James White does in New England. So I think that's a good comparison for him. And I think I got him as a day 3 prospect right now. Day 3 prospect for Collin Hill. So as far as number 9, I've got Mohamed Ibrahimi. I don't know if I said that right, but I apologize if I said it wrong. But he's a running back out of Minnesota, 5'10", 210 pounds. Now this is really weird because this guy has not declared yet. There's some reports saying that he is going to return back to school. I have no idea. I'm going to put him in my rankings just because you never know. A guy may, you know, decide to declare. It can happen whenever. So he's not locked in to return to school, even though I think he may have said it. So I'm going to keep him in my rankings for now. All right, so in this year, 7 games he ran for 5.4 yards a carry for a total of 1,076 yards, 15 touchdowns. Only thing, he only had 8 receptions all year. That's like 1 reception per game on average, a little more than 1 per game. So it's a little weird. But he was named Big Ten Running Back of the Year, so Hey, man, that's a hell of an accomplishment. So congrats to him on that. As far as strengths go, he's got good vision. He plays with low pad level and leverage, so it's going to be tough to bring him down. And he's never going to be a big home run hitter. But the combination of short area quickness, power, and contact balance make him a really good, consistent contributor. And I think he's going to do good in the NFL. All right. So as far as weaknesses go, he's not a proven pass catcher. Again, you don't have to be a proven pass catcher. We like to see that, in the college film, but you don't have to do that. That's why the combine is there. And again, just because you're not given the opportunity to do it in college doesn't mean you can't. Okay, so let's be clear on that. Just because you have not been asked to do it in college does not mean you can't do it. So I'm not going to say he can't do it. I'm just saying that he hasn't proven it in college. All right. And as far as another weakness, he got injuries. He's got a lingering shoulder issue that's kind of followed him along. So that's something to watch. That's kind of why he comes in at number 9. All right. So moving on, and I do have him as a day 3 prospect. Day 3 prospect. Moving on, I've got number 8. I've got Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert out of Virginia Tech. He's a 5'10", 212-pound running back. He transferred from Kansas to Virginia Tech. I don't know why anybody would want to go play football for Kansas, but shout out to Kansas. But he transferred to Virginia Tech in this lone season. This was his first season and last season with Virginia Tech. He racked up 155 carries for 1,183 yards and 8 touchdowns. He actually averaged 7.7 yards per carry and hauled in 10 receptions for 179 yards and 1 touchdown. So he also has the ability to play special teams. He offers some kick return ability. So he had 16 returns for 430 yards on kick returns. So if you add those up with his other yards, he had 1,791 all-purpose yards, having only played 10 of the 11 of teams' games. Herbert's averaged 179.1 all-purpose yards. So it's a lot of all-purpose yards. Dude is playing in all facets of the game. And listen, that's what teams covet. If you can play special teams, you can play multiple positions. Some teams covet that versatility. So I think that's a good plus for him. He will partake in the Senior Bowl, the Reese's Senior Bowl, so that's a good look for him. So we'll see him in Mobile, and he also was invited to the 2021 East-West Shrine Bowl. So congrats to him on both of those achievements. As far as strengths, I've got he's an asset in the passing game. He's got really good pass protection. He finishes in open field, so he's gonna be able to get that extra yard, 1 or 2 yards. He has a special teams ability as well, which we talked about as far as having those kick return yards. One of the weaknesses I have for him is he's not going to be the most elusive guy. He's not going to shoot, juck, and jive. He's not going to do all that. And sometimes he gets lost and picking some of the holes and making wrong decisions as far as his vision is concerned. So again, not a deal breaker at all. But again, those are a couple weaknesses that I have for him. All right. So I've got him as a day 3 prospect as well. All right, next up, I've got Michael Carter out of UNC. He's a 5'8", 199-pound running back. And listen, he is the Lightning from the Thunder and Lightning duo from UNC, all right? He's the Lightning, all right? So this season, he actually rushed for 1,245 yards on 9 touchdowns. And he also added 267 receiving yards with 2 more touchdowns. Last year, in his junior season, he had 1,003 yards, giving him back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing season. So that's an impressive stat for Michael Carter. And obviously, he's riding high off of that huge Miami game. All right, he had 308 yards with 2 scores on 24 rushes. So very impressive game against Miami. And after that game, he said, "Bump it, I'm done. I've done all I can do here." He declared for the draft and skipped out on the Orange Bowl for the Tar Heels. All right. So shout out to him for doing that. You always go out on a high note. And listen, running backs, you don't want to take all them hits, bro. They have a short lifespan in the NFL, so the less punishment you're taking every season, the better. So go ahead and opt out and do your thing. So as far as strengths, he's an agile, elusive runner. He explodes in open space. So once he's in open space, he's pretty much out of there. All right. As far as weaknesses go, I've got pass protection. He's pretty small, so he's not going to be the best pass protector. He's got inconsistent vision. Sometimes he misses open lanes and does a little bit too much. And shedding tackles, again, at 199 pounds, sometimes he's going to go down on first contact, and it is what it is. I mean, that's just physics at that point. So, again, not a deal breaker, but if you're looking for that pass catcher, that lightning, that Darren Sproles, that kind of running back, the Tariq Cohen of the world, this is kind of your guy, all right? At number 6, I've got Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell is 5'11", 191 pounds, out of Memphis. He actually played quarterback in high school, and in 2020 he decided to go ahead and opt out. He didn't play a snap this season, but we can go back to his 2019 production. All right, 2019 he had 231 carries, 1,459 rushing yards on 13 touchdowns, rushing touchdown that is. So he averaged 6.3 yards per rush. He also added 51 receptions for 610 receiving yards on and 3 touchdowns. All right. So very, very impressive stat stuffer, right? All over the field. As far as strengths go, he's very elusive. He's got great acceleration and agility, which makes him tough to bring down. He's probably one of the better pass catchers in this class too. He can run routes out the backfield, so he's kind of almost like a Christian McCaffrey, so to speak. He can do everything out the backfield. That's why he's high. And again, I was gonna dock him for not playing this season, but what I've seen him do out of the backfield is impressive, bro. He can run routes, line up in the slot, do it all out of the backfield. So it's very impressive. As far as weaknesses go, kind of similar to CMC. He could add some weight. He's probably going to be a situational dude starting out. Could add some weight and strength to be a little bit more well-rounded. And he's not going to be used as a goal line guy that much. I mean, 191 pounds, that ain't going to do it at the goal line and at the consistently anyway. You might get a couple goal line touchdowns, but for the most part, we ain't lining you up back there. And pass protection is one of his weaknesses as well. Again, 191. You got to be able to man up, all right? And that's just physics at that point too. So that's all I got for Kenneth Gainwell. So let's move on to number 5. At number 5, I got Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State. The 6', 207-pound running back. And again, he played with Justice Hill last season at Oklahoma State. And man, even with him, he had 740 rushing yards on 7 touchdowns and 124 carries. So that's a pretty good stat line playing with Justice Hill. Justice Hill ended up getting drafted to the Ravens, but he also logged over 200 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns through the year 2018. So that's 2018 with Justice Hill. With Justice Hill gone, he went straight ham. He went ham sandwich, all right? In 2019, with Hill gone, he had 2,094 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns on 328 carries, averaging a healthy 6.4 yards per rush. I mean, that's an impressive stat line, man. That got him all over everybody's draft board and expected him to go pro, all right? Didn't happen. He decided to come back, all right? But as far as strengths go, I got the straight line speed, all right? That straight line speed is crazy. So once he gets out in the open space, it's a wrap. You're not going to catch the man. He's got good vision, and like I just said, he's a threat to hit the home run every time once he hits the open field, all right? As far as weaknesses go, I got a lack of versatility. You don't see him catching the ball too much. Again, not that he can't do it. He just wasn't asked to do it, all right? Inconsistent elusiveness. Listen, he's not as shifty as you would think he would be, and sometimes he just misses holes. But again, once he gets out in the open field, it's a wrap. All right, it doesn't break as many tackles. At 207 pounds, you think he'd be able to break a couple tackles. I'm not seeing that. Once defenders have their hands on him, he tends to go down. All right, so I'd like to see him improve in that area a little bit better. But again, impressive once he's out in the open field, and he's liable to break one every now and then. At number 4, I got Trey Sermon. So Trey Sermon out of Ohio State is having one of the better ends to a season that you could ask for, man. This dude is peaking at the right moment, all right? So he started at Oklahoma, transferred into Ohio State this year, and listen, he's having a great season, bro. A great end to the season, man. He's like I said, he's peaking at the right time in the last 2 games, including the Big Ten title game versus Northwestern and the college football playoff semifinal game against Clemson. The dude has rushed for 524 rushing yards, which is crazy, and he's added 3 scores to that, man. So it's crazy how he's peaking right now. All right, he's actually on the brink of doing what Ezekiel Elliott did last time Ohio State won a national championship back in 2014. Elliott put together one of the most dominant 3-game stretches in school history with 696 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns in the Big Ten championship and college football semifinal and championship game to carry Ohio State. To do that, he would need 173 rushing yards to top Zeke. So he would have to have a monster game against Bama to top what Zeke did and carry Ohio State to that national championship. So it's interesting. We'll see that tomorrow. Again, I'm filming this before the national championship game just because I think my rankings are pretty much locked in at this point. But if he could do that, if he could add to that to get that 173 rushing yards, he would also reach 1,000 rushing yards, which is crazy. And it would be done in 8 games with not that many attempts too. So I think that's he could go and peak right at the right moment and cap this thing off at an incredible rate. All right, so listen, I'm rooting for the guy, and again, he's peaking at the right moment. Again, I probably wouldn't have had him this high on my rankings without these last 2 performances. All right, hopefully he can add to that. He might go up 1 spot, but I don't think he's going past the first 2. All right, so that's why I'm going ahead to and releasing this video. All right. So moving on. As far as the strengths go, I've got size, burst through rushing lanes. Listen, once he sees a rushing lane, he's in there. He hits that rushing lane really quick. All right. He's a tough runner, good vision, excellent ball security, and listen, that added bonus, man, the kid just doesn't have that much tread on his tires. He doesn't have as many rushing attempts. I think he's never had 200 plus rushing attempts in one season. So, I mean, you go and look at what Travis Etienne is and Najee Harris and what they're looking at as far as rushing attempts per season. Listen, he doesn't have that much tread. So I think that's a bonus with him going into the NFL. It can last a little bit longer. So that's a plus for just a little added side bonus, all right? As far as weaknesses go, he's not going to be the best athlete, but he does have enough speed to get it done, but he's not going to be the best athlete out there. And again, he wasn't asked to catch the ball that much out the backfield. So again, not that he can't do it, just wasn't asked to do it as much, all right? So let's move on. Number 3. Number 3, I got Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, 5'10", 225 pounds. This dude is built like a tank, bro. He's built like a tank, and he is the Thunder from the Thunder and Lightning tandem at UNC, all right? The Thunder and Lightning, he's the Thunder. In 11 games, Williams amassed 1,140 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns on 157 attempts, which is crazy. He also developed as a receiver this year, catching 25 passes for 305 yards and 3 scores. Really impressive stat line. This year, obviously, it was capped by that amazing performance against Miami. Again, Thunder and Lightning went off. They both went off in this game. Williams added 236 of those rushing yards, 3 scores, and 23 attempts. So really crazy stat line. And after that, he also decided to opt out and take his talents to the NFL and not play in that bowl game, right? And listen, efficiency is the name of the game for Williams, man. Listen, he ran for excellent 7.3 yards per carry and also found an end zone every 8.2 touches. That's impressive, all right? Super efficient. As far as strengths go, I got size and physicality. The dude reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch. This dude he's built like a tank, but the dude is elusive too. He's agile. He has enough speed to get the job done. And listen, he's got like I just said, he's got enough speed to break off those big runs too, just like Marshawn Lynch. All right, so good vision and receiving ability as well. He's got the hands. He proved it at UNC with the 25 receptions this year. Weaknesses: inconsistent pass blocking. Again, most running backs struggle with it. I'm just pointing it out. The lack of consistent production too. He had one good year, and you'd like to see a little bit more. That's what separates the top two backs versus Williams. I mean, he didn't have consistent production. He's got one good year to show, and he's kind of going out on top. Don't blame him. Just saying that's why he's not in the top 2 discussion. All right. Speaking of the top 2, let's go ahead and move on. Just real quick, I've got him as a day 2 lock. I got him as a day 2 lock. So second, third round. I'd like to see him go there, but I think it's going to happen with his performance. All right. Moving on. Number 2, I've got Travis Etienne. I know it's going to surprise some of y'all. Some of y'all think he should be the number 1 overall back. I just don't have him there, all right? But Travis Etienne, number 2 out of Clemson, 5'10", 205-pound running back. The dude reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara. I've already said it in his reaction video. But listen, in 2019, the dude caught 37 passes, 432 yards on 4 scores. And in 2020, he was even more impactful in that, bringing 44 catches, 524 yards, and 2 scores. Listen, I think that's why he came back to school. He wanted to improve that receiving ability. I don't think it bought him that much, honestly. I think he should have went pro last year and kind of saved some of the tread on the tires. That's one of his weaknesses for me. He's got a lot of tread, bro. And again, if accomplishments was what he was chasing, then he accomplished that. All right. Listen, he broke the NCAA record for most games with at least 1 touchdown. He also exceeded 100 touches and double-digit touchdowns in every season. Okay, every season he played with Clemson, he did that. And he also achieved a level of consistency that's rarely seen in college football, all right? So if that's what he was looking for, I think he achieved that more than improving his draft stock, all right? But I question his decision to come back. I don't think he should have came back this season. Probably should have went pro. But that ain't none of my business. That's his decision to do that. All right, as far as strengths go, I've got athleticism, contact balance, and listen, he's a human highlight reel, man. You never know when this dude catches the ball or touches the ball. It could be a home run. He's got elite straight line explosiveness, and he hits the rushing lanes with anger, bro. I mean, he's going to hit that rushing lane and go. That could be a little weakness of his. Sometimes he's not patient enough to wait and let those blockers set up. But listen, sometimes, you know, it is what it is. He's just hitting the hole and just going, all right? As far as speed goes, listen, speed's the name of the game. He's expected to run a 4.4 or even a 4.3, and if that happens, he's gonna be out of here, bro. It's to the moon, all right. And the catchability. Again, he displayed the catchability his junior year, and then doubled down his senior year. So his catchability is great. And when you think about weaknesses, there really are no weaknesses in this game. If you want to nitpick, I mean, he's just got, like I said earlier, he's got a lot of tread on the tires, bro. He's got a lot of tread on the tires, and that's just one thing you got to be wary of. And listen, Christian McCaffrey also had a lot of tread on the tires. He had an amazing 4 years. Christian McCaffrey did. But then you see how it caught up to him. And that's why I'm pointing out those treads, all right? The tread on the tires is something to be weary of, all right? But great player, and I think he's going to be great in the NFL. I think, again, reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara. All right, moving on. Number one running back, I've got Najee Harris, man. Najee Harris, again, I mean, it gets no better, bro. It gets no better. 6'2", 230-pound running back. Again, you compare that to what Derrick Henry did at Alabama. Derrick Henry, 6'3", 247. I mean, they're close. I mean, listen, as far as running backs built like Derrick Henry, you ain't gonna get no closer than what Najee Harris is. All right, they're close. I mean, they're close. I mean, the weight difference is noticeable, but as far as build, they're close. All right. Listen, this dude was consistent, first-team All-American, Doak Walker winner for best running back in the nation, and finished 2020 with 1,387 rushing yards, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. And listen, he had 24 rushing touchdowns. 24 rushing touchdowns. That's a lot of rushing TDs. He also had 346 receiving yards and three touchdowns, and averaged 9.6 yards per reception. So that's really impressive. Listen, people look at this dude and you just think, oh yeah, man, they hand him the ball, he's just running cats over. Nah, bro, he can catch the ball at the backfield. He can do that easily. I think that's what separates him from what Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry, didn't display that as much as Najee Harris has done with Alabama. All right. As far as strengths, listen, what separates Harris from these other running backs, from these big power running backs, is the fact that he can catch the ball, bro. He can catch the ball at the backfield. That is not questioned, though. He can do it, and it's impressive. He's got really good soft hands to catch the ball and go. Once he gets in the open field, good luck, man. Good luck. I think he strikes fear. He strikes fear in defenders in the open field. Just same way Derrick Henry does with those stiff arms that he's displaying in the NFL. Najee Harris, same thing, bro. Same thing. And listen, one other thing in the open field that he does is leap over cats. That's a strength of his. he can jump over you, bro. You got good luck bringing this dude down. You can't. It's a guessing game. You go low on him, pause. He's gonna jump over you. Okay. It's good luck, man. Good luck with this dude. All right. So elusive. He's agile. Again, ability to absorb the hits and maintain contact balance. You're not bringing this dude down with the arm tackle, bro. It's just not happening. And the power. He is the complete running back package, bro. It gets no better than Najee Harris. As far as weaknesses go, listen, it's nitpicking, but the long speed, okay? He's not going to be the fastest cat once he gets out in the open field. You could probably catch him, but there's so much more that he brings to the game than long speed, okay? That makes up for that. I'm not gonna nitpick as far as speed goes, just because all the other things he brings to the game. You don't want any smoke with this man in the open field. Good luck. You try to go for his legs, he's jumping over you. You try to tackle him straight up, he's gonna run you over. Again, you go at him, he's gonna stiff arm you. It's just tough. You need 3 or 4 dudes to bring the dude down. Same way Derrick Henry is doing in the NFL right now. All right, Panther Nation. So that's gonna do it for my top 10 running backs. Listen, when I put this running back list together, this list is about who I think can help me with my playoff push. Okay, who's gonna help me put my team in the best position to win in the playoffs, and I think Najee Harris does that. Just look at what Derrick Henry and company are doing. Look at all the teams that can establish a run during the playoffs. Those are the teams that are going to be successful. So I'm going with Najee Harris. I think he's one of the best guys for that. I think Travis Etienne is definitely an option. And going down the list, I think those are definitely viable talents. But listen, I think Najee Harris is the guy. Come playoff time, I think he's going to be the man that can make you or help you make a deep playoff run. All right. So that being said, man, that's my top 10 running backs. How would you rank them? If you built this list, what would your top 10 look like? Meet me in the comment section. Let's talk about it. All right. That being said, I'm out. Keep pounding. Peace.